there, and welcome to the Teen Clarity Podcast. I'm your host, Kristen Brooke. I'm here to help you get to a new level of parenting in your journey of parenting teens by giving you insights, tips, tools, and resources, and I hope to help you create the family connections that your friends talk about. Welcome to the show. Today I'm going to talk about something that's very near and dear to my heart, something that has helped me all along the way in my parenting journey, and also the number one thing on the checklist that I created called Confident Teen Checklist. And you are welcome to get this. It's a free resource. It's on my website. Just click on the button that says checklist and download that. Today I'm going to talk to you about something that's very near and dear to me and something that I have used for sure in my parenting journey, and that is the power of prayer. Now, before you swipe or scroll or click the 15-second to move forward, let me start with a little bit of a story. As far back as I can remember, probably back to the age of 3, 4, or 5, I can remember the very first prayer that my mom ever taught me. And it was a cute little rhyme that said, "Now I lay me down to sleep, I pray the Lord my soul to keep. If I should die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul to take." And that was a cute thing. I just remember us doing that over and over and over, night after night. And that was the prayer that I prayed as a kid. Now fast forward a little bit into my teenage years. And the very first prayer I ever remember praying and actually receiving an answer for was I had lost a journal that I put some very, I guess at the time, important things that I didn't want my family to read, and I lost it. So I remember praying out to the Lord, "Lord, if you're really out there, please help me find my journal." And move forward, a few hours within the day, I remember laying on my floor and looking over underneath my dresser, and there it was. And I just remember thinking, oh my goodness, there is a God, and he has blessed me, and here's my journal. Now, moving on a little bit further, probably to about age 13 or 14, then I remember really coming into my relationship with the Lord. So, it's one thing to get baptized. It's another thing to start your walk with the Lord. And so I attended this conference. It was called, back in the day, it was called Youth to Youth. And please, if anybody has attended a Youth to Youth conference, please say me down in the comments because I want to connect with you. It had such an impact on my life. And I know all of us are spread out everywhere, but ever so often I come across people who have attended Youth to Youth. So just put in the comments me if you have attended a Youth to Youth conference. But back then, again, around 13 or 14 was really when a shift happened. And I finally realized and understood what it meant to have a relationship with Jesus Christ, the power of prayer, and how I really did have a purpose, that God created a purpose. Now, I'm reminding you, I was 13 or 14 years old. And so this has had a life-changing effect on my life, because ever since then, I really, really had this passion for wanting to spread this message, wanting to give other people, especially teenagers, that message of how important they are and how much they matter and how there's a God that created them and that they have so many special gifts that God has given them just for them to use here on this earth so he can fulfill his purpose in them. We all have a purpose and a plan. And that started that at that young age. So then move forward a little bit more. And I happened to work for some friends of ours. The wife ended up becoming a friend, and she taught me how to pray. She introduced me to prayer journaling and to the acronym P.R.A.Y. Now, unfortunately, this was so many years ago, over 30 years. I don't have the book or any of my resources that she gave me to use as I was learning this. And so forgive me, I'm sorry if this is somebody's stuff out there. I just don't remember who it is. I just remember the acronym PRAY. And what happened was it started to transform the way that I prayed, and I did start by journaling and stuff like that. And so I want to give this to you because some of you out there might not know, that you want to do something for your teenager, but at this point in time, everything might just be all emotional and up in arms and you just don't know what to do. And so here with this particular podcast, I want to teach you how to pray. So the first thing you do with the acronym PRAY and the letter P is to write down a praise. The easiest thing that I learned to do was to open up the Bible, go to Psalms or Proverbs, and just jot it down. I believe I did one verse or one or two of them a day. Just start it off. P, wrote the P in my journal, and next to it wrote a psalm. And that was my praise. The second letter is the letter R, which is to repent. Now, how beautiful is this though? Before we come to the Lord and start asking him for what we want to pray for, especially for our teenagers, first we're going to come to his throne and repent. And that's the time when you just lay it all out there before the Lord. Think of talking to him like you're talking to a friend across the table drinking coffee. And it really is just a, Lord, I am so sorry for the things I have done. Ask him for forgiveness for the things that come to your mind, maybe the things that you've thought or the things that you've said, especially to your teenager that may have been harsh or unkind or inconsiderate. Start repenting those things before his throne, writing them down in your journal and asking for forgiveness for them. That moves you into the A, and that is the ask. Now, when you're coming to the Lord to ask, it is just the best thing to think about it and do it like a brain dump. I mean, literally, where you just start, especially in the beginning, you just start getting all of the stuff that's within you out and asking and praying for that. Ask him for help, ask him for wisdom, ask him for guidance, ask him for knowledge, ask him for ways to talk to and to communicate with your teen, ask him for teachable moments and for times that you can sit and just be together. Ask him for time for him to create these moments in time when your teenager actually wants to come and sit with you and be with you because they just like who you are. So anyway, the A is for ask, and just do it. Just ask the Lord for even what you can pray for your teenager. Maybe you're just so frustrated you don't even want to pray for them, but you're going to. So just ask. And finally, the Y is actually the Y in thank you. And how beautiful of a moment it is to end your prayer with thanks. Thanking him for spending the time with you. Thank you for the moment that you have right now to be able to just come before his throne. All of this can take you anywhere from 5 minutes to 10 to 15 to 30 to an hour, however long you want it to take, let it take. First thing in the morning is best, but if you're just not quite there yet, do it over lunch. Do it before you go to bed. Whatever works for you in your time frame. Start praying for your teens. And then do this next thing. When there's a moment and you are prayed up and you ask the Lord for that teachable moment, sit your teenager down and tell them, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just have not been the parent that I need to be, but I'm on this new journey now. Because you see, we each can take wherever we're at in our parenting journey and up it to the next level. What a better way to start the journey than to sit your teenager down and to say, look, I'm sorry, I messed up. I have not given you the boundaries that I've needed to. I've let you be on social media too long. I haven't given you any kind of consequences when you talk to me that way. And from this day forward, it's going to change. And then you move step by step by step of how you're going to change that, what you're going to do next. Because see, now from this moment on, you're going to show up a different parent. You're not going to be the same. Once you realize and once you start praying for your teens, you can't help but to be changed yourself. It just happens. The Lord starts convicting you of things that you're doing. He might even start showing you things that is in your teenager that really is that they're modeling after you. Things that you might need to change yourself. And that becomes part of your connection with your teen, especially if you're just being honest, open with them, and including them in on your journey. It's one of the most beautiful things that I've seen personally in my life when I've had to sit my teenagers down and say, look, I'm sorry. I have not given you the boundaries that I needed to. This is what they are. And then together, we worked through the consequences. A lot of mine has to do with chores. I think I'm a horrible mother at following through and making sure my girls are doing their chores. I just let them get away with it and then don't do anything about it. So that's what we've struggled with in my household, is following through on their chores. And finally, we sat down and we semi-drew up a contract. I've heard that in my parenting journey and with the books and the DVDs and stuff that I've watched, but I can honestly say I'm not the best at following through with that. So that is one of the things that we've had to come up with in my household of me sitting down and saying, I have failed you. I am not teaching you responsibility like I need to. And then we shifted it. And we're moving in the right direction. I can't say that we're completely there, but we're getting there. It's all part of the journey, and we are all taking baby steps together. So I want to conclude with this. When you show up a better parent, you're going to find that your teenager will show up a better teen, because they are at a phase in life where they're watching you, they're modeling you. They want to be an adult because they're still a pre or a young adult, but they don't quite know how. And the person that they have to look up to look at, to model, and to do things like, believe it or not, is you. Make a decision today. Be a better parent. Change in your own life so that this next portion, you're living your life in the 2.0, a better person. And you're going to see a change in your teen, not only because you're showing up as a different person, but because you've also bathed them in prayer. I'm telling you that it works. I would love to hear your comments. So as you implement these, please leave me comments below so that I can know how they're doing. Also, if you would like the checklist again, if you like what you've heard right now, go to my website, kbfulton.com. The very first thing you're going to come to is the button that says download the teen checklist, and it's yours. Also, you can join my mailing list and receive the weekly newsletters too. If you do want to receive those insights, tips, tools, and resources, I love to share them and to continue this walk together. So go out and make it a great day. Bye for now.